Yo, what's up, family? Before we start the video, please leave a like, subscribe, and share to any and everyone that you can. Just read out there a little bit more. With that being said, let's get right into the video. Alright, how y'all doing? Hope y'all doing good. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not, make sure you take your shoes off before you come in the house. And Nikola Vučević, I don't know if it's Nikola, but I'm gonna call him Vuč and Vucci man, the flair. His debut was really good for the Celtics. 11 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists, and his offensive versatility is just through the roof. Now, I know how I do on this channel. I'm not painting this to be a perfect player, so you will see some defense in this. But the element that he brings offensively, where he can pop, he can hit the floater, he can hit the mid-range, he can hit the three, he can pass the ball. Hey, his passing really popped in this game. And this was a game where Miami basically switched for 85% of our offensive possessions. The only time they were not switching everything was when Khalil Ware was at the 5 and Vučević was at the 5, but for majority of this game, they took away our effectiveness as on-ball screeners and elected to just switch, which left Nikola Vučević with a ton of mismatches in the paint, and of course, we'll talk about that later. The first thing I noticed is on the offensive glass, Nikola Vučević was going after every offensive board. He had like 3 of his first possessions where he got his hands on the rebound, but he was not able to get them, so that was good to see him just be active in that way. Now, on defense, it did start very rough, right? It was a lot of give and take with Vučević on the offensive side, then him coming down on the defense side and attacking him. He has played the Miami Heat like 3 or 4 straight times, and it is tough to guard Bam with his selective aggressiveness. When he is aggressive, there's not many sitters that can do more than him, but Bam seemed very comfortable against Vuč, and he hits that right there. All right, so we have the perfect sequence of the give and take. Again, Nikola Vučević, the defense in the first half was not good, right? He does something on the offense, then the Heat score, but you could just see how the pace of the Miami Heat and the quickness of all their players, it's kind of hard for a guy like Vučević. But in the second half, he defended much better, as the Celtics did everything much better as a whole. Here on offense, we got the slide play right here. Vuč is gonna come so Vuč is gonna come screen right there, gets a switch on Davion Mitchell, right? So he posts up, he has a switch, Peyton Pritchard drives right to him, and the Celtics did a much better job at this, right? They have to get used to playing with a center that has a shot for every spot on the floor. They have to get used to playing with a center that can really post up and score, that can really pass the ball if they move. And you saw the progress through this game. As the game progressed, they started hitting Vučević more and more. His offensive versatility just makes a already great offense even more unpredictable. But here he gets his first basket as a Boston Celtics. Norm Powell and Adebayo fighting each other like they're not teammates. But then as soon as he scores, the Heat are coming right back up. They're already at the other 3-point line with 21 seconds left, and Bam trailing. Again, when he's aggressive, it's not a lot of centers that can hang with him. He drives right past for the lefty finish. But then we go back down to offense. We got the wide action. We got Vuč setting his wide screen for Jaylen Brown so he can come off and get to the middle of the floor. They do that. Jaylen Brown catches it, gives it right back. Then we get into 77, 2 on-ball screens right here. But again, they're just going to switch this, so that gets Davion Mitchell onto Nikola Vučević. So you see Jaylen Brown putting Nikola Vučević, saying for Peyton Pritchard to pass the ball inside to get it to Sam for a better post-entry angle, and then we get it out right there for an open 3. So again, Vuč got his first bucket off an offensive rebound, got us a wide open 3. He should have got that rebound, but Davion Mitchell is a dog. Great boxer by him. But then again, it's just the Miami Heat play with such quickness that we don't have time to get our preferred matchups. Like, Bam is already out the picture, and that's already not a good matchup for Vuč. But then he's going up against Jaime Jaquez right here, cross match, and he scores. And I talked about how the Miami Heat's like switching kind of lowered the effectiveness of our on-ball screens, but that is only in the aspect of like the screen assists. So the Celtics lead the league in screen assists per game. It's like 10.5 or so, like 10.2 or something like that, right? The Celtics, I counted, only have 4 screen assists. But when I thought about it, it was effective in a different way. Like, it was effective because it got them mismatches. And here they run a great play. I thought the Celtics were going to go to ram action. Ram action, just to remind, is an off-ball screen for somebody to go set a ball screen. So I thought Bayless Shaman was setting this off-ball screen for Vuč to sprint into this on-ball screen, but that's not what happened. Simon sets it, Vučević gets the ball, and getting Vučević the ball in this pinch post area, either right here or somewhere, like anywhere right here in this area, just allows the Celtics to do so much on offense. And Vuč being a stretch big, and the Miami Heat and other teams knowing that Vuč is a stretch big, definitely opens up the floor. Vuč is going to set this screen, get the switch on Drew Smith. The mismatch works for post-ups, of course, getting the ball to Vuč so he can score, but also on the offensive glass, 6 of his 12 rebounds in this game were offensive. And look at this. Of course, I talk about the 4 assists. We just saw him get Derek White in open three. The spatial awareness by Vučević, just looking around trying to find guys. As soon as he sees Baylor Shaman, puts it right on the money. So he's not passing it right to Baylor Shaman. He's passing it to where Shaman needs to be. So he's going to send the ball a little bit to the left of Baylor Shaman so he can catch it right there and just get right to a shot. All right, so it looked like they were going to go to 77 again, the two screens, but you kind of just see like these guys being new teammates, right? You see Vučević, it's kind of like, what am I supposed to be doing? So Jaylen Brown backs up. We end up just getting a screen for Nikola Vučević. I'm not sure why Bam decided to do this, or maybe this is Drew Smith. Drew Smith didn't switch onto Nikola Vučević, but whoever's fault it was, I'm just so thankful that they gave the Celtics a 2-on-1 with a stretch 5 in Nikola Vučević and a great cutter in Hugo Gonzalez. Hugo cuts right there, great pass by Vučević. All right, I know the first quarter for Vučević defensively was rough, but I said this in my player preview I did of Vučević on Celtics blog. If you haven't seen that, the link to my author page is in the description. But in Chicago, like when I was watching his Chicago stuff, when he was playing us, when he was playing Detroit, when he was playing the Knicks, I didn't see a guy that was incapable of being solid defensively, and I didn't see a guy that was incapable of moving his feet. He's made some big plays in the clutch defensively this year. He has some times where he shows that he can move his feet and stay with guards. Like, this isn't a long time, but Miami's offense is predicated off cracking people off the dribble, right? They beat people off the dribble, force you in a rotation, then they make decisions after that. They're not running too many pick and rolls. So the fact that Vučević can stay right here and force Norman Powell to pass the ball out and force it to be an Adebayo 3 is a really good sign. All right, so we got a very active possession here by Nikola Vučević. You see he's just standing like Ashton Genty in the backfield there. But all right, so we got the off ball for Jaylen Brown, right? We got the double big in. So Kid's gonna set his screen. He's gonna roll. Vučević is gonna pop out. Pass should have gone there right at this second, but it's a little late. That's fine. Then he gets it to Hugo, sets another off-ball screen for Jaylen Brown, kind of creating a drop coverage here by Andrew Wiggins. Jaylen gets it, takes one step in. The switch is not crisp. The defense is not crisp. So now we have 5 seconds. This play does end in a turnover. But again, it just shows the versatility of Vučević, right? So this creates the 2-on-1, right? Great pass by Jaylen Brown. Davion Mitchell's a smart defender, so he's going to stun and get back to Derek White. But Vučević can put the ball on the floor. He can make plays for himself and others while driving if people overcommit to him, right? This is a shot for him. This is usually a shot for him, but it's Bam. Okay, and this is not a bad pass either, but Hugo cannot cut right here. If Hugo is spaced correctly, this is definitely another 2-on-1 because Vučević will be driving. It would just be against Bam, and Norman Powell would not be here to take that pass. But he should have just shot this floater, right? But it just shows what Vučević could possibly do for this team. All right, so here we got both of the stretch bigs, and Derek White has a choice to use whichever screen he wants to. Picks Vučević side, gets the switch, and Vučević, what I love about Nikola Vučević is that when he gets a mismatch, he puts them under the rim. He doesn't go out to the perimeter and ask for the ball. He goes directly under the rim. He does the 2.9 rule. When he feels like he hasn't gotten the ball in like 3 seconds, he gets out, he goes right back in. Look at where he's at, under the rim. With Jaime Jaquez back to the baseline, shooters are open, right? Somebody has to come help eventually. But here he gets fouled, but I just love that he goes straight to the paint. All right, here I just wanted to showcase how quick Miami plays. So here, just an insane athletic play by Jaylen Brown, driving past Davion and getting that dunk off. 22 seconds, they're at the hash mark, right? Now, no center should be put in this predicament, right? Vučević has to run back because nobody's in the corner. He has to close out to the corner as a 6'11" center with not great foot speed. Gets blown by in a dunk by Andrew Wiggins. I'm not even about to put that on him. He was just in the paint and had to run back to the corner because nobody else was there. But again, it's the give and take, right? He gets beat on defense because of the speed and then has a perfect possession on offense here, right? So it looks like the Celtics were going to go to a low angle pick and roll here. So Vučević was going to set this screen on Davion Mitchell, right? But the feel and the IQ of Vučević, right? So he feels that Bam's hand is on him, right? So this means that possibly he's going to just pass him off to Davion Mitchell after the screen. But once he feels that Bam pushes off of him, and his leverage, like he goes up, he gets directly out of the screen because he knows that something is up. And they end up just spontaneously trapping Jaylen Brown, right? So we get the ball right there because he got out quickly. Now that creates our advantages, right? So Sam Hauser's going to cut, which will bring Andrew Wiggins down, which will leave Derek White more open than before. So he gets it right to Derek White. But the Heat eventually do a great job scrambling and getting back set. But we still do have a mismatch with Nikola Vučević in the post because Bam is out on the perimeter now. So we get the ball to Jaylen Brown to get the better entry angle, and I loved when Vuč gets fronted in the post, these guys stay here. There's none of the they're fronting and then they get back. No, once you pick wherever you are on Vučević, he does a phenomenal job walling these guys up and putting them wherever they are, right? So great pass by Jaylen Brown, sends it over top, and we got another great pass by Vuč. If he gets the ball, all you have to do is cut. Now we get on defense, and this time we get a stop. Vučević does a very nice job against Bam here, and then contests a shot for the miss. All right, so here we got some more good defense by Vuč. He's up against Davion Mitchell. Mismatch contains the drive. Good help by Shaman. That forces the pass. Vučević is still on the perimeter, so good job by Derek White telling him to get down to get off the perimeter. Right here, he doesn't see Fontecchio right there cutting, but he ends up getting over there, protecting the rim, and finishing the possession. All right, so this play did not end in a score for the Celtics, but it was just a really good play that I want to see again. And again, you can just see how Nikola Vučević helps this offense. So it looks like the Celtics are going to go to some flip flare action. So we got the pass to Vučević and the flip back to White, and it looked like Sam's going to set this flare for him. He doesn't actually end up setting it, but it does look like that look. But we get straight into a handoff, and the Celtics started doing this thing with the screen, especially the big man. So I talked about earlier how Miami switching kind of lowered the effectiveness of the Celtics on ball screen as far as like the screen assist and like guys handlers getting open from like great screens, right? So as the game progressed, the Celtics would just fly past the screen, right? The big man, it's not necessarily a goal screen because that'll be like a guard or wing going up to the three-point line or something like that, but Vuč would just go right past the screen. You see how that freezes Norman Powell because he thought that there was going to be a screen right there and that he's going to have to switch. Now it doesn't have much impact on this play as Norman Powell's going to get posted up anyway. Pritchard gives the ball up and we get right into a give and go, right? And that can just be so much for this offense. Bam is just great. Well, that was actually Vučević that got his hand in the passing lane, but you see how he can help us. All right, so I talked about his offensive rebounding earlier. Half of his boards in this game were on the offensive side. So right here, Pritchard takes a tough shot, but Vuč is there to get the board and get it back to Shaman. So now he's going to come up, set this screen for Derek White. Got Vučević and Khalil Ware in this coverage. For some reason, they mess it up and they don't end up switching this. They did play drop with Khalil in the game, but it wasn't like they were putting two on the ball or having two on the ball. Sometimes he was just in the regular drop. This time, you know, he's hedging a little bit. I guess he's hedging and getting back because you see the coach, the assistant coach. I think this is Lil Roach. I'm not sure though. But you see him telling where to get back and kind of signaling like, why are you still up there? But of course, you put two on the ball, so they're going to take advantage of that. We got a 3-on-2 right here with Vuč in the paint. And a phenomenal play and phenomenal pass by Derek White. He's going to manipulate Norman Powell here. So Norman Powell, of course, sees that Vučević is there. He's going to come over here, try to step over here for Nikola Vučević. But what Derek White does is he's going to look Sam Hauser's way to freeze Norman Powell or to make him take one step over here to Sam Hauser so he can get that pass into Nikola Vučević. All right, so we're going to try to go. Yo, Spo, can you get off the court, please? Isn't that a tech, brother? Come on now. So he sets the screen. Of course, you're going to switch, get the mismatch on Drew Smith. You see Jaime Jaquez trying to tag off the corner. Great pass. Look, again, under the rim. No nonsense. I get a mismatch. I'm going straight to the rim. Good pass by Peyton Pritchard. Vuč misses the first one, but he has great hands. Tips it right back in. All right, here, off-ball screen by Vuč for Derek White. Then he's going to set the on-ball screen, get the switch for Drew Smith. But then Jaime is going to see this and he's going to scram switch this, right? So you see Drew Smith is behind or like lower than Vučević here. As Jaime scram switches, he is now fronting the post on Nikola Vučević. And again, I talked about Vučević holding his line, right? When the guy fronts the post, you're not getting back over on Vučević. He's strong. He knows positioning. Great pass. Another great pass by Derek White for a layup. I shared one of the few screen assists on the night, and this one was even off ball. Vučević gets a little nudge of Andrew Wiggins. Great play design. Great shot by Derek White. Here, Vučević is able to take advantage of the mismatch again, getting us another extra possession. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Vučević has the on-ball screen on Norman Powell. You see Derek White clearing out for him, gets right under the rim, and look at this, bro. No lag time in his decision making. 1.5 seconds per touch in Chicago for Vuč this season. He makes quick decisions. Right here, he didn't even look and see if he just caught it, passed it. Right there, open three, Sam Hauser. He's not gonna miss too many of those. And we had clutch plays by Vuč in his Celtics debut. So right here, we got setting the all-ball screen. Jaylen Brown rejects. Bam Adebayo is attracted by the drive from Jaylen Brown. Again, Vučević on the perimeter, can make plays for himself and others by putting the ball on the floor. Right there, great pass to Derek White, and he hits a clutch trade. But then we go back to on the defense side of the ball. We got a Norman Powell drive, great containment by Derek White, goes up in the air, makes Norman Powell change whatever he's about to do. Vučević got the great hands, knocks the ball loose. We get it. But that is the video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, subscribe, and share to any and everyone that you can. Just for me out there a little bit more. Now we'll see you guys in the next video. But this is Nick. Peace.